So you've been feeding your lawn all year round, it's been looking great, but recently in the last kind of couple of weeks you've noticed some bare patches coming up. Well, so have I, and I'm going to show you exactly why that's happened and how we can treat it thanks to some nematodes. So it doesn't matter how well you've been treating your lawn and how lush it looks, this is the time of year now, October, where you need to start thinking about treating for leather jackets, crane flies and daddy longlegs. You might have noticed recently, being in and around your garden, you've seen the daddy longlegs and the crane flies flying around. We noticed it when Hayley was cleaning the leaves off the lawn and she saw them all hopping up in front of the collector. Well, that's why we went and bought some nematodes, the Nemesis nematodes, and Nematodes Direct. We'll put the link in the comments below, and this is why now it's the perfect time to treat them, October. So for us it was areas around the edge of the garden. The main part of it looks absolutely great, but just all up this side here and also right up the back of the garden along here, I've always noticed that it's thinner, it's barer. Now I actually put that down to these trees, that it wasn't getting as much water, and the fact that my garden slopes towards the camera, and just ignored it for a year or two. That's a rookie mistake, because now I know that it is the leather jackets which are causing it. So the daddy longlegs have laid their eggs in about August, September time, and now they're maturing into tiny little grubs, and they're right at the surface now, feasting on all the roots of the grass because it's still warm enough. Now in a few weeks time, we get into November, they'll start to grow bigger, but they'll start to go deeper when it's warmer, and they'll stay there for most of the winter. And in the spring they'll start to come back up near the surface and start to eat away at those roots again. So it's the perfect time, whilst those larvae are small, perfect time to treat them with nematodes. Now what are nematodes? So they're like a living worm. They're absolutely tiny little things that go down, wash down into the soil, and then they find their way into the actual grub itself. Once inside the leather jacket, they'll then release a toxin which will stop it eating, and when it stops eating it will just die. Not only that, the nematodes will then breed and create more nematodes to fight future kind of infestations. But if you've got a really bad infestation, worse than the one you see here, you'd want to treat them now in October, but you'd want to go again in the spring when it's starting to warm up. In fact, the best way to treat for leather jackets is to actually be proactive and apply it maybe on a yearly basis. This one packet treats 100 square meters and costs in the region of 17 to 18 pounds. So there really is no reason. You work so hard on your lawn all year, you might as well keep on top of the pest control as well. There's a few application methods with the nematodes. You can make up a solution and put it in a watering can and treat an area. Pretty good way of doing it, because the key to applying nematodes is massive amounts of water. You'll see in a minute when I chose to put it down in the middle of a huge rainstorm, which actually helped wash those nematodes off of the surface of the grass down into the soil. The soil must also be wet to start with, so ideally after some kind of prolonged rain, but it also must stay wet for a few weeks after as well. So we've picked the perfect time. You can't just buy these though and keep them in your garage and wait to use them. They have a very short shelf life. You need to use these within about 2 to 3 weeks. In fact, this packet had a deadline of the end of October. Pop them in your fridge and leave them there, but use them, and use them all as well. It's very difficult to overdose on nematodes, so even if you're only doing a 50 square meter area, just go in with a double dose. I've used this applicator today, so I put the nematodes inside the reservoir there, mixed it up, and when I've got it on the feed and water option, it'll take about 8 minutes to draw all of that solution out of the reservoir and put it down onto the lawn. But then you can do another 8 minutes of watering just to help wash them down. So now we know what we're actually trying to do today. I show you the leather jacket killer that we've got. This is going to take care of the daddy longlegs, and so bought this online, and it's really important that you use this as soon as you get it. There's a deadline on there, 29th of October, just up here, so you want to make sure you get it used. Now the instructions are saying to put this in a 1 litre tub of water, mix it, and then decant it twice. I'm going for double strength because I'm a little bit late. I've got this Miracle Grow applicator where you turn the feed on or just water, trigger here, reservoir there, and the hose just plugs in on the side. So I'm going to empty in all of the clay. It's like a bread, almost a bready material. So we're going to get that popped inside. I'm just going to use my fingers. It is literally like, it is really soft, like almost like a yeast kind of thing. And it is absolutely teaming it down now, actually. Absolutely teaming it down. I've got Louis walking around over there as well with all his tops on. His vest and that. Let's get all that in there. And then everything off the lid as well. I don't want to waste any. So let's get as much of that in there as I can. It's like a clay material, and that is just the carrier. That's all it is. All the nematodes are actually suspended within it, and that's how we're going to get it through. So just in this one pack, we've got thousands of nematodes. So yeah, so all we're going to do now is pop some water in there. Let's pop this onto here. I'm going to fill it up to 500 ml. I'm going to give it a really good mix as well. And by doing this, this will take about 8 minutes for this particular carrier to lose all the nematodes. So I'm just going to pop it in there, I'm going to close it up, and then just give it some agitation. And then when I'm spraying, I'm going to do it side to side to keep the nematodes agitated, keep them suspended in the water. So it is absolutely teaming it down now. So here's my hose. We're going to take it off of here. Take the hose off of there, and we're going to connect it to the end of here, and then we're going to go out and spray the garden with the nematodes. And it is teeming down with rain, but the idea here is that we put the nematodes on the grass and the rain washes them down. The sooner the nematodes get into the soil, the more effective they'll be. Are we ready, Louis?
Yeah.
Should we go and spray the water?
Yeah.
Come on. So we're out in the soaking wet rain now. I am absolutely drenched, and I've split the garden into like two. Yeah, 1 second, Louis. Yeah, I've split the garden into two areas. I should have cleared all these leaves up, but it's just raining terribly. We've started the timer as well. 8 minutes I've got to get all these nematodes out of here. It's 51 now, so at 59 it'll be done. I'm just going to cover a 50 square metre area, which I've measured out already. And yeah, I can see where the nematodes are because my grass is just so thin. So I'm going to keep doing side to side, keeps the nematodes suspended in the water, so they're being inducted from here into the water stream. Just making sure that it's on the feed and water section. So all these nematodes now, tiny, tiny, tiny little worms, they're going out, and they're going to start going down into where the grubs are, the leatherjackets. I'm going to start killing those off. I'm a little bit late in the season, but Louis and I now, especially over here, this is terrible. Louis and I now are going to just get all these nematodes out, and then get a hot chocolate, I'd suggest. Do you want to go, buddy? Do you want to go? Yeah. Here you go then. So I need you to water all over like this. Keep going side to side like this. Now I want you to walk up and down, going side to side like this. How's that? Is that all right? Can you manage that? Mm-hmm. Go on then, keep going. Perfect, buddy.